Well, meanwhile, back in Edinburgh.
Okay, back in Edinburgh. Okay, so uh, we're talking about poets and politics, yeah, past and present,
Right.
and the prophetic role of poets in uh, expressing the identity of particular groups of people, and okay, how important poets have been in Scotland, in particularly after Scotland's national ambitions were finally frustrated and brought to an end with the defeat of Bonnie Prince Charlie and the people who supported him.
Was it the Jacobites?
Exactly. And there, after he went into exile, there you had that disarming act, and there we are back at the disarming. Just no doubt about it. Okay, so in Scotland, okay, following the failure of the Jacobite rebellion, okay, there's an act of Parliament that forbids the display of Scottish national symbols, including pipes and tartans and kilts and so forth. And despite the ban, there's this growing romantic Jacobite movement that grows in strength, and by the time this act, comes to an end, you have this flowering of Scottish cultural nationalism. Interestingly, at a time when the Scots are going off to become the kind of soldiers and merchants in the growth of the British Empire. But so the Scots, are no longer independent, but they have to maintain this sense of distinct identity. And some people could do it through religion, but what the Scots did was through various forms of non-religious culture, in music and dance and poetry and costume and the list goes on and on. But poetry seems to really been central in affecting most people. And Burns, we talked about his background before, comes along and he's this a poet of the people, who expresses their culture and feelings and nationalistic sentiments, and inspires generations of Scots afterwards. They actually formed Burns societies, clubs where they get together to read the poetry and sing the songs and celebrate the memory of this great national poet. And Scottish romantic nationalism continues through the 19th century, and by that time the Scots are migrating in great numbers and settling in the colonies, and doing all kinds of things, forming clan societies, extended family Scottish clan societies and cultural organizations, and putting on games. And the games not only include athletic events but also music and singing and poetry, and so the idea, okay, of Scotland as being independent, okay, is being carried on this way, even as the Scots are helping to build the British Empire. And by the time we get to the 20th century, okay, there have been new. Let's see, are we rolling?
Yeah.
Okay. New ideas have come around. There's, Marx starts to, have an important impact on the intellectual and cultural life of, certainly Western Europe and broader than that. And you start to get, particularly after the success of the Russian Revolution, you start to get a rise in communism in Great Britain, and in Scotland. There's a kind of struggle that takes place, because the Marxist idea is that workers around the world, what they share in common is that their labor produces wealth for their bosses, and they're exploited. And that's the basic, that's what unites the working class, the international working class. But you also had some kind of fringe Marxists who started developing ideas that if you could, celebrate the distinctive culture of working people, or distinct groups of oppressed and exploited people, you could help develop their revolutionary potential. And so this idea of creating a new sense of an independent a group that throws off the authority of an established order, that becomes your poetry and regional national art, all become part of that program. And it's about that point that this guy named Grave changes his name to Hugh McDermott, and we'll cut on that point.